Okay, so the question was, what is the significance of Pradosha? The Pradosha is the day, the 13th day of a Paksha, Trayodashi basically, which is the day when the Shivaratri is actually celebrated every month. So there are actually 12 Shivaratris, and the most significant amongst them is that which occurs in the Magha Masa, which is called the Mahashivaratri. But technically, every month, the 13th day was kept specifically for Shiva Puja, Shiva Aradhana, and Shiva Mantra Japa. That is coincidentally also the day when the Chandra is either 3/4 or 1/4 in size. And Shiva, of course, likes the both the Shiva likes the 1/4 crescent moon, which comes in the Shukla Paksha, and uh, Shiva Parvati likes the 3/4 moon, which is what she wears as her forehead. And that is also once again described in the Saundarya Lahari. So that is the significance of the number 13, the Trayodashi Tithi. And because Shiva likes it in the evening, it is celebrated in the evening. Mm, and during that time, doing Abhishekam to Shiva, as well as the Nama Japa or the Mantra Japa of Om Namah Shivaya is said to yield supreme results.
That's so nice, yeah. Because I've been seeing things and attending, but we don't know the significance. And one more question, sorry.
No, please, it's most welcome, please.
Shivalingam should be kept at home, and if you keep at home, you have to do the ritualistic puja. Is it like that?
Yes, I mean, not just the Shivalinga, but even if you keep any Vigraha at home, a daily puja must be offered to it. And that is also because this is called the Samaya Marga, also called as the Dakshina Marga. So in Dakshina Marga, the deities which are invoked, Avahana is done into the Vigrahas, they lose energy, it is said, every day. It is like how we have to be fed 3 times a day or whatever, 2 times a day, because we otherwise lose energy. Similarly, we also treat the deities. And so doing avahana into small vigrahas which are worshipable at home are therefore also easily losing energies daily. For imbuing them with energy, for recharging them, they demand a ritualistic worship which must be done every day, at least most days regularly. Even as Correct, yeah, barring those days when there is a certain ashaucham, maybe somebody died or some birth happened, or we are traveling for a circumstances. In such case, at least in the olden days, there used to be someone at home. If no one was there at home, they would either take the vigrahas with them, or they would do some shortcuts. For example, even the Swami of Sringeri, Swami Bharati Tirtha and Swami Vishwara Bharati Mahaswami, they actually carry the Chandramaulishwara Linga wherever they go, even if they're going on Vijaya Yatras. And that is also true of other sannyasis too. For example, the order of monks of the Lingayatas, they actually keep this Atmalinga with them every time on their body itself. And even if a person does not have the Vigraha, I mean, for a person who does not keep the Vigrahas at home, it is not a problem. But if you have a Vigraha, it must be ensured that not too much of a gap is there between two consecutive worships. Because they say a Vigraha which is not worshipped at home is receding in its energy. And because it is receding its energy, the Vigraha will actually absorb the positive energy from the house. And yeah, it is up to belief. It is a matter of Shraddha, of course, but that is how they actually reason it out.
What about mental worship? They say, like, does that work?
Correct. So that is definitely useful, and it is in fact told to be the greatest form of worship, the Manasa Puja. In fact, again, Shankaracharya has written this very beautiful Shiva Manasa Puja and so on. That can be performed anywhere, correct? However, that is definitely, though it is a superior method of worship, the ritualistic form of worship must not be given up if they have taken the Vigraha. That is how they say it. So either we donate the Vigraha away if we don't want to do that ritualistic worship, or if we have it, at least some basic puja must be given to it.
Because I like Shiva from childhood, so I keep on collecting any different lingas, colored lingas, different size lingas, but it's like more of a collection, not a kind of.
Okay, okay. Then it is not a problem. Yeah, that is not a problem. Unless it is kept in the puja room as a part of the the other pantheon of gods to worship, then it is not a problem.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So let's begin. Today we will be chanting the Uttara Pithika or the Pradhana, sorry, the Phalashruti, also called as Phalastuti, where the entire benefits of chanting this stotram are elucidated. Let's begin. Yatha pradhanam bhagavan iti bhaktya stuto maya yanna brahmadayo deva vidustattvena narshayah. यथा प्रधानं भगवानिति भक्त्या स्तुतो मया यन्न ब्रह्मादयो देवा विदुस्तत्त्वेन नर्षयः स्तोतव्यमर्च्यं वन्द्यं च कस्तोष्यति जगत्पतिम् स्तोतव्यमर्च्यं वन्द्यं च कस्तोष्यति जगत्पतिम्. The word here is stotavyam, archyam, vandyam. It becomes stotavyam, archyam, vandyam cha kastoshyati jagatpatim yatha pradhanam bhagavaniti bhaktya stuto maya yanna brahmadayo deva vidustattvena narshayah स्तोतव्यमर्च्यं वन्द्यं च कस्तोष्यति जगत्पतिम् भक्तिं त्वेवं पुरस्कृत्य मया यज्ञपतिर्विभुः ततोऽभ्यनुज्ञां सम्प्राप्य स्तुतो मतिमतां वरः भक्तिं त्वेवं पुरस्कृत्य मया यज्ञपतिर्विभुः ततोऽभ्यनुज्ञां सम्प्राप्य स्तुतो मतिमतां वरः भक्तिं त्वेवं पुरस्कृत्य मया यज्ञपतिर्विभुः ततोऽभ्यनुज्ञां सम्प्राप्य स्तुतो मतिमतां वरः शिवमेभिस्तुवन् देवं नामभिः पुष्टिवर्धनैः नित्ययुक्तः शुचिर्भक्तः प्राप्नोत्यात्मानमात्मना शिवमेभिस्तुवन् देवं नामभिः पुष्टिवर्धनैः नित्ययुक्तः शुचिर्भक्तः प्राप्नोत्यात्मानमात्मना शिवमेभिस्तुवन् देवं नामभिः पुष्टिवर्धनैः नित्ययुक्तः शुचिर्भक्तः प्राप्नोत्यात्मानमात्मना एतद्धि परमं ब्रह्म परं ब्रह्माधिगच्छति एतद्धि परमं ब्रह्म परं ब्रह्माधिगच्छति एतद्धि परमं ब्रह्म परं ब्रह्माधिगच्छति ऋषयश्चैव देवाश्च स्तुवन्त्येतेन तत्परम् ऋषयश्चैव देवाश्च स्तुवन्त्येते न तत्परम् ऋषयश्चैव देवाश्च स्तुवन्त्येतेन तत्परम् स्तूयमानो महादेवस्तुष्यते नियतात्मभिः भक्तानुकम्पी भगवानात्मसंस्थाकरो विभुः स्तूयमानो महादेवस्तुष्यते नियतात्मभिः भक्तानुकम्पी भगवानात्मसंस्थाकरो विभुः स्तूयमानो महादेवस्तुष्यते नियतात्मभिः भक्तानुकम्पी भगवानात्मसंस्थाकरो विभुः तथैव च मनुष्येषु ये मनुष्याः प्रधानतः तथैव च मनुष्येषु ये मनुष्याः प्रधानतः तथैव च मनुष्येषु ये मनुष्याः प्रधानतः आस्तिकाः श्रद्दधानाश्च बहुभिर्जन्मभिस्तवैः आस्तिकाः श्रद्दधानाश्च बहुभिर्जन्मभिस्तवैः आस्तिकाः श्रद्दधानाश्च बहुभिर्जन्मभिस्तवैः भक्त्या ह्यनन्यमीशानं परं देवं सनातनं कर्मणा मनसा वाचा भावेनामिततेजसः भक्त्या ह्यनन्यमीशानं परं देवं सनातनं कर्मणा मनसा वाचा भावेनामिततेजसः भक्त्या ह्यनन्यमीशानं परं देवं सनातनं कर्मणा मनसा वाचा भावेनामिततेजसः शयानाजाग्रमाणाश्च व्रजन्नुपविशंस्तथा उन्मिषन्निमिषंश्चैव चिन्तयन्तः पुनः पुनः शयानाजाग्रमाणाश्च व्रजन्नुपविशंस्तथा उन्मिषन्निमिषंश्चैव चिन्तयन्तः पुनः पुनः. The word there is vrajan nupavishams tatha vrajan upavishams tatha vrajan nupavishams tatha upavishams vrajan nupavishams tatha unmishan nimishams chaiva unmishan nimishams chaiva unmishan nimishams chaiva unmishan निमिषंश्च चैव शयानाजाग्रमाणाश्च व्रजन्नुपविशंस्तथा उन्मिषन्निमिषंश्चैव चिन्तयन्तः पुनः पुनः शयानाजाग्रमाणाश्च व्रजन्नुपविशंस्तथा उन्मिषन्निमिषंश्चैव चिन्तयन्तः पुनः पुनः शृण्वन्तः श्रावयन्तश्च कथयन्तश्च ते भवम् स्तुवन्तः स्तूयमानाश्च तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च शृण्वन्तः श्रावयन्तश्च कथयन्तश्च ते भवम् स्तुवन्तः स्तूयमानाश्च तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च शृण्वन्तः श्रावयन्तश्च कथयन्तश्च ते भवम् स्तुवन्तः स्तूयमानाश्च तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च जन्मकोटिसहस्रेषु नानासंसारयोनिषु जन्तोर्विगतपापस्य भवे भक्तिः प्रजायते जन्मकोटिसहस्रेषु नाना संसारयोनिषु जन्तोर्विगतपापस्य भवे भक्तिः प्रजायते जन्मकोटिसहस्रेषु नाना संसारयोनिषु जन्तोर्विगतपापस्य भवे भक्तिः प्रजायते उत्पन्ना च भवे भक्तिरनन्या सर्वभावतः भाविनः कारणे चास्य सर्वयुक्तस्य सर्वथा उत्पन्ना च भवे भक्तिरनन्या सर्वभावतः भाविनः कारणे चास्य सर्वयुक्तस्य सर्वथा उत्पन्ना च भवे भक्तिरनन्या सर्वभावतः भाविनः कारणे चास्य सर्वयुक्तस्य सर्वथा. एतद्देवेषु दुष्प्रापं मनुष्येषु न लभ्यते निर्विघ्नानिश्चला रुद्रे भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी एतद्देवेषु दुष्प्रापं मनुष्येषु न लभ्यते निर्विघ्नानिश्चला रुद्रे भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी एतद्देवेषु दुष्प्रापं मनुष्येषु न लभ्यते निर्विघ्नानिश्चला रुद्रे भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी तस्यैव च प्रसादेन भक्तिरुत्पद्यते नृणाम् येन यान्ति परां सिद्धिं तद्भागवत चेतसः तस्यैव च प्रसादेन भक्तिरुत्पद्यते नृणाम् येन यान्ति परां सिद्धिं तद् Now here there's a small mistake. It's tad bhava gata chetasah. It is not gava. It is vaga. Tad bhava gata chetasah. Tad bhava. Those who have immersed in his bhava. तस्यैव च प्रसादेन भक्तिरुत्पद्यते नृणाम् येन यान्ति परां सिद्धिं तद्भावगतचेतसः तस्यैव च प्रसादेन भक्तिरुत्पद्यते नृणाम् येन यान्ति परां सिद्धिं तद्भावगतचेतसः ये सर्वभावानुगताः प्रपद्यन्ते महेश्वरम् प्रपन्नवत्सलो देवः संसारात् तान् समुद्धरेत् ये सर्वभावानुगताः प्रपद्यन्ते महेश्वरम् प्रपन्नवत्सलो देवः संसारात् तान् समुद्धरेत् ये सर्वभावानुगताः प्रपद्यन्ते महेश्वरम् प्रपन्नवत्सलो देवः संसारात् तान् समुद्धरेत् एवमन्ये विकुर्वन्ति देवाः संसारमोचनम् मनुष्याणामृते देवं नान्या शक्तिस्तपोबलम् एवमन्ये विकुर्वन्ति देवाः संसारमोचनम् मनुष्याणामृते देवं नान्या शक्तिस्तपोबलम् एवमन्ये विकुर्वन्ति देवाः संसारमोचनम् मनुष्याणामृते देवं नान्या शक्तिस्तपोबलम् इति तेनेन्द्रकल्पेन भगवान् सदसत्पतिः कृत्तिवासास्तुतः कृष्णतण्डिना शुभबुद्धिना इति तेनेन्द्रकल्पेन भगवान् सदसत्पतिः कृत्तिवासास्तुतः कृष्णतण्डिना शुभबुद्धिना इति तेनेन्द्रकल्पेन भगवान् सदसत्पतिः कृत्तिवासास्तुतः कृष्णतण्डिना शुभबुद्धिना स्तवमेतं भगवतो ब्रह्मा स्वयमधारयत् गीयते च स बुध्येत ब्रह्मा शङ्करसन्निधौ स्तवमेतं भगवतो ब्रह्मा स्वयमधारयत् गीयते च स बुध्येत ब्रह्मा शङ्करसन्निधौ स्तवमेतं भगवतो ब्रह्मा स्वयमधारयत् गीयते च स बुध्येत ब्रह्मा शङ्करसन्निधौ इदं पुण्यं पवित्रं च सर्वदा पापनाशनं योगदं मोक्षदं चैव स्वर्गदं तोषदं तथा इदं पुण्यं पवित्रं च सर्वदा पापनाशनं योगदं मोक्षदं चैव स्वर्गदं तोषदं तथा इदं पुण्यं पवित्रं च सर्वदा पापनाशनं योगदं मोक्षदं चैव स्वर्गदं तोषदं तथा एवमेतत् पठन्ते य एकभक्त्या तु शङ्करम् या गतिः साङ्ख्ययोगानां व्रजन्त्येतां गतिं तदा एवमेतत् पठन्ते य एकभक्त्या तु शङ्करम् या गतिः साङ्ख्ययोगानां व्रजन्त्येतां गतिं तदा एवमेतत् पठन्ते य एकभक्त्या तु शङ्करम् या गतिः साङ्ख्ययोगानां व्रजन्त्येतां गतिं तदा स्तवमेतं प्रयत्नेन सदा रुद्रस्य सन्निधौ अब्दमेकं चरेद्भक्तः प्राप्नुयादीप्सितं फलम् स्तवमेतं प्रयत्नेन सदा रुद्रस्य सन्निधौ अब्दमेकं चरेद्भक्तः प्राप्नुयादीप्सितं फलम् स्तवमेतं प्रयत्नेन सदा रुद्रस्य सन्निधौ अब्दमेकं चरेद्भक्तः प्राप्नुयात् ईप्सितं फलम् एतद्रहस्यं परमं ब्रह्मणो हृदि संस्थितं ब्रह्मा प्रोवाच शक्राय शक्रः प्रोवाच मृत्यवे एतद्रहस्यं परमं ब्रह्मणो हृदि संस्थितं ब्रह्मा प्रोवाच शक्राय शक्रः प्रोवाच मृत्यवे एतद्रहस्यं परमं ब्रह्मणो हृदि संस्थितं ब्रह्मा प्रोवाच शक्राय शक्रः प्रोवाच मृत्यवे मृत्युः प्रोवाच रुद्रेभ्यो रुद्रेभ्यस्तण्डिमागमत् महता तपसा प्राप्तस्तण्डिना ब्रह्मसद्मनि मृत्युः प्रोवाच रुद्रेभ्यो रुद्रेभ्यस्तण्डिमागमत् महता तपसा प्राप्तस्तण्डिना ब्रह्मसद्मनि मृत्युः प्रोवाच रुद्रेभ्यो रुद्रेभ्यस्तण्डिमागमत् महता तपसा प्राप्तस्तण्डिना ब्रह्मसद्मनि तण्डिः प्रोवाच शुक्राय गौतमाय च भार्गवः वैवस्वताय मनवे गौतमः प्राह माधव तण्डिः प्रोवाच शुक्राय गौतमाय च भार्गवः वैवस्वताय मनवे गौतमः प्राह माधव तण्डिः प्रोवाच शुक्राय गौतमाय च भार्गवः वैवस्वताय मनवे गौतमः प्राह माधव नारायणाय साध्याय समाधिष्ठाय धीमते यमाय प्राह भगवान् साध्यो नारायणोच्युतः नारायणाय साध्याय समाधिष्ठाय धीमते यमाय प्राह भगवान् साध्यो नारायणोच्युतः नारायणाय साध्याय समाधिष्ठाय धीमते यमाय प्राह भगवान् साध्यो नारायणोच्युतः नाचिकेताय भगवानाह वैवस्वतो यमः मार्कण्डेयाय वार्ष्णेय नाचिकेतोऽभ्यभाषत नाचिकेताय भगवानाह वैवस्वतो यमः मार्कण्डेयाय वार्ष्णेय नाचिकेतोऽभ्यभाषत नाचिकेताय भगवानाह वैवस्वतो यमः मार्कण्डेयाय वार्ष्णेय नाचिकेतोऽभ्यभाषत मार्कण्डेयान्मया प्राप्तो नियमेन जनार्दन तवाप्यहममित्रघ्नस्तवं दद्यां ह्यविश्रुतम् मार्कण्डेयान्मया प्राप्तो नियमेन जनार्दन तवाप्यहममित्रघ्नस्तवं दद्यां ह्यविश्रुतम् मार्कण्डेयान्मया प्राप्तो नियमेन जनार्दन तवाप्यहममित्रघ्न 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 तवाप्यहममित्रघ्नस्तवं दद्यां ह्यविश्रुतम् मार्कण्डेयान्मया प्राप्तो नियमेन जनार्दन तवाप्यहममित्रघ्नस्तवं दद्यां ह्यविश्रुतम् स्वर्ग्यमारोग्यमायुष्यं धन्यं वेदेन संमितम् नास्य विघ्नं विकुर्वन्ति दानवा यक्षराक्षसाः स्वर्ग्यमारोग्यमायुष्यं धन्यं वेदेन संमितम् नास्य विघ्नं विकुर्वन्ति दानवा यक्षराक्षसाः स्वर्ग्यमारोग्यमायुष्यं धन्यं वेदेन संमितम् नास्य विघ्नं विकुर्वन्ति दानवा यक्षराक्षसाः पिशाचायातु दानवा गुह्यका भुजगा अपि यः पठेत शुचिः पार्थ ब्रह्मचारी जितेन्द्रियः पिशाचायातु दानवा गुह्यका भुजगा अपि यः पठेत शुचिः पार्थ ब्रह्मचारी जितेन्द्रियः पिशाचायातु दानवा गुह्यका भुजगा अपि यः पठेत शुचिः पार्थ ब्रह्मचारी जितेन्द्रियः अभग्नयोगो वर्षं तु सोऽश्वमेधफलं लभेत् अभग्नयोगो वर्षं तु सोऽश्वमेधफलं लभेत् अभग्नयोगो वर्षं तु सोऽश्वमेधफलं लभेत् इति श्रीमन्महाभारते अनुशासनपर्वणि दानधर्मपर्वणि अष्टचत्वारिंशोऽध्यायः श्रीमहादेवसहस्रनामस्तोत्रं समाप्तम्. And thus marks the end of the stotram. Let's quickly go over the meanings of these shlokas, and we will discuss if you have any questions after the meanings. So it says, Yatha pradhanam bhagavan iti bhaktya stuto maya. Yatha bhagavan pradhanam iti bhaktya stuto maya. Now who is this? Upamanyu. Upamanyu is saying to whom? If you recollect, it is to Krishna, right? So he says, Yatha pradhanam bhagavan iti bhaktya stuto maya. Because I considered Bhagavan as the pradhana, as the foremost, as the greatest priority of my life, therefore I have bhaktya, I have bhakti towards it, and hence stuto maya, I have praised him. You see, it is only true love and genuine love comes only when we make that particular person or entity or that thing the first priority of our lives. Is it not? See, for a parent, they're able to love so deeply and so unconditionally the child because their entire life has been crafted voluntarily to revolve around the child. So at every second thought of theirs is about the child, is about their son or daughter, so on. Similar is the case with the husband and wife, maybe any partners and spouses, maybe very close and dearest friends, and so on. So whenever we make a particular person, maybe a workaholic. So for a workaholic, his work becomes the pradhana element of his life, the main purpose, goal, and love of his life, for which he will be willing to invest any amount of emotions, time, effort, and energy, which is basically what bhakti is. The willingness to be a servant to that higher cause is so willful servitude is what the Shastras call as bhakti, right? It doesn't mean that the parents are going to listen to the children. It just means in their hearts, they are willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater well being, even if it at their own cost, for the child. So that is how bhakti operates. And so because Krishna, I mean, Upamanyu has made Shiva the Pradhana Devata. And by the way, there is also one very beautiful stotram written by the same Maharshi Upamanyu uh, at another instance. Maybe we can discuss that later on. That is also very moving. Pradhanam Bhagavan, it is stuto bhaktya stuto maya. So he has been praised by me. Now, because we naturally love Shiva, uh, praising becomes, just second nature. Because one who is, we've also seen this, right? When the parents go to functions, they are so proud of their kids, very rightfully so. And so they will always be in praise of them to others because it gives us some joy to talk about the thing that we actually love and do in our lives. Stotomaya yat na brahmadayo devaha viduhu tatvena narashayah so this Shiva actually is not any lover or any parent or child or a friend, but he is actually the person, the entity which not even the gods, Brahma, Vishnu, and the others nor the Maharshis, the Rishis, actually know him through his tattva. Viduhu tattvena, through his actual tattva, nobody has been actually able to understand him. So he still remains a mystery to a very large extent to most of us. Stotavyam archyam vandyam cha. And so, but just because he is unknown or inaccessible, do we just keep quiet? No, he says, Stotavyam, we must keep praising him. Archyam, we have to do archana, we have to do this ritualistic worship. And vandyam, we must prostrate before him. Cha kastoshyati jagatpatim, because this is all that we can do, and who really can, in true essence, stoshyati jagatpatim, who can really completely and exhaustively praise all the different glories of the Jagatpati. This is very significant because just yesterday we were discussing, I think it was Bhavani ma'am who told that Pushpadanta's shloka, that the glories are so infinite that not even the gods themselves can actually list them all out. Bhaktim tvevam puraskritya maya yajnapatir vibhuhu tato abhyanujñam samprapya stuto matimatam vara. So in this entire stotram, what is the main element? Bhaktim tvevam puraskritya. So I have kept bhakti in the forefront. I have made bhakti, the rasa of bhakti itself, the pradhana. I have not talked much about philosophy. I have not emphasized karma, but bhakti is what he says. The entire purpose of this stotram is Bhaktim tvevam puraskritya maya yajnapatir vibhu, the yajnapati, the Shiva, the Lord of sacrifices, and Vibhu, the Lord. Abhyanujñam samprapya, and I have sought permission, sought consent from Shiva himself before I actually was able to describe him before you. Again, when one very nice correlation is the very first shloka of Saundarya Lahari 2, where he says, one must have even a little bit of punya and your grace, O Mother, to be even able to praise you. Because without your own grace, not even Shiva can do spanda, can even vibrate. When that is the case, how can I, thinking that I have all the punya in the world, actually recite or even attempt to praise you? It is only through your grace that I've been able to do so. Similar is the case with Shiva here that Upamanyu is saying. Next, Shivamebhistvandevam namapih pushtivardhanaihi nityayuktah shuchirbhaktah prapnoti atmanam atmana. So Shivam, so Shiva is being praised here by pushtivardhanaihi namabhihi, by these namas, which exactly are like Shiva itself, who is a pushtivardhana, one which invigorates, that which that recharges us, that which ignites our fuel, ignites our energies from within. Pushtivardhanaihi nityayuktaha shuchihi bhaktaha. And how must one be? He must be a nityayukta. Now, this is the supreme-most bhakta that Upaman is describing. At that level, the standard is to be a nityayukta, to be always in communion with God. Shuchihi must be very hygienic. Bhaktaha, he must be devoted to the supreme cause. Prapnoti atmanam atmana. If such a person recites these namas, it is just like a spark for him. The fuel is very ready. Now they have all that is needed is just a spark to catch fire. So this person who has prepared himself or herself by being always in communion with God, by maintaining shuchitva, not just physical but also mental hygiene, and bhakta, who's devoted, ready to sacrifice himself or herself, oneself for the greater cause. If he chants these Pushtivardhana Nama, then he immediately catches fire, he or she catches the spiritual fire. And what will happen to him? Prapnoti Atmanam Atmana. By himself or herself, by oneself, he or she reaches the Atma, which is the supreme-most goal of all spiritual and, in fact, human purpose too. Etadhi paramam brahma param brahmadhi gacchati. Now, such a person, because the object of praise is Brahma, the supreme reality itself, paramam brahma param brahmadhi gacchati. He or she becomes verily the living example, the willing manifestation of that cosmic unifying principle. ऋषयश्चैव देवाश्च स्तुवन्त्येतेन तत्परम् स्तूयमानो महादेव स्तुष्यते नियतात्मभिः भक्तानुकंपी भगवान आत्मसंस्था करो विभुः. So all the rishis, the sapta rishis, all the devas, they are also continuously tatparam. They are engaged in the stuva, in the stuti of God, of Shiva, for the very same reason, in order to attempt to get into that supreme blessed state. Stuyamanaha Mahadevah Niyatatmabhi Tushitena. How will, okay, we have all seen how the bhakta must be, but what is the sufficient condition for pleasing Mahadeva, of pleasing Shiva? It is that he says, Tuyamanaha Mahadeva, even if you keep reciting and praising and eulogizing Mahadeva, Niyatatmabhihi tushyate, he will only be satisfied. Tushyate, only by being Niyatatma. Niyatatma means one who is in complete self-control and self-discipline. Niyatatmabhihi, not just physical, like I said, it is also niyama, means yamas and niyamas are the most fundamental requirements of, in fact, any human also. They are the fundamental rules of morality and ethics, and they're also spiritual requirements, the bare essentials. So one who is that, only then will Mahadeva even have a chance to become happy and pleased with us. Bhaktanukampi, but he does, Bhagavan does take anukampa, he does take pity on the bhakta. And if he becomes pleased, what does he do? This Vibhu, this creator of this universe, he makes Atma Samsthakaraha. He'll give you no wealth, he'll give you no health also. He will simply make us Atma Samstha. He will make us fixated in our own Atmas, and that, in fact, Shiva considers it to be the greatest gift anybody could receive. Not health, not wealth, not Sumedha. If you remember that Trishanku's words, what he say? He says, Aham Vrikshasya Reriva Kirti Prishtham Gireriva. Now, Kirti, Padavi, good health, Sumedha, Amrita, all of these are just droplets of Amrita. So you guys actually don't really know is what he is telling all of us. You don't really know what abundance of immortality actually is. Even the greatest achievements and success stories of the human world is but barely some evaporated drops of that Amrita, of that Atma. Therefore, Shiva will give us just the entire pot itself, the pot of Amrita. Atma Samstha Karaha. He makes us Samstha, fixated, fixed. Samstha means completely self-established. And from there, just like Shiva, nobody will be able to uh, shake us off. No amount of agony, pain, torture, etc. will even matter. Yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate is what Shri Krishna says. If one who has sthitaha, one who has become, who has stood in himself or herself, oneself, then not even by the greatest of miseries and agonies will he or she be able to be disturbed, or they will not even flicker. They will not even move an inch from that position of Atma Samsthiti. तथैव च मनुष्येषु ये मनुष्याः प्रधानतः, and similarly even amongst the manushas, any manusya can say this, but even amongst the manushas it is especially so special if the astikas, those who believe in the validity of the scriptures, if they say, chant this, and shraddhadhara, even amongst those who actually consider the Vedas and the scriptures to be potent, more so are the people who actually have faith in it. So there's a difference, you see. I can just conceptually say, yeah, because I've been born into this religion, yeah, maybe what the stuff here is said may be true. That is one level of astikata. The second level is to actually believe through proper experience in the potency of these words. Therefore, that is the second level of being Shraddha. And that is not sufficient. He says it is Bahubhir Janma Bhaistavai. Now we are just embarking on this journey. So he says, I mean, at least he says by Janma, many lifetimes of work, of stava, of praising, and not just continuously praising. It means to come of complete surrender to Shiva. Bhaktya Hyananya Mishanam. See, Ananya means just as a lover, is completely loyal to the beloved. That is said to be an Ananya Prema, which means that lover will not even look at anything else but the beloved. And in a marriage, it means fidelity. In terms of parent-child relationship, we always get very anxious and antsy when our parents compare us with other kids, right? And why is that so? Because we are the beloved and they are the lovers in a way. So when they, at least even for the sake of disciplining us, they try to praise someone else and compare us, we feel somewhat irky. And that is the way of love. If you have Anya Bhakti, it means, or Anya Prema, it means you are not really fully devoted or dedicated, and you are actually not in love, true love. So Shiva similarly demands Ananya Bhakti. अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्. Again, Krishna. So, Ananya Bhakti, to not think of anything and anyone else but Shiva. Such a person, uh, if he praises the Param Devam, the supreme-most controller and the big boss, who is the eternal principle, how? So it is not just praising going on, like a tape recorder again and again. It is karmana. It is also through the actions, manasa through emotions, vacha through thoughts, and speech, and bhavena and through true emotions. Amita tejasah shivasya. So of Shiva, who has infinite tejas, of infinite energy. If such a great saint or a saintess chants this, Shayana, and how? Whether she is sleeping, Shayana, Jagramana, if she is awake, Vrajan, even if she is just roaming, strutting, Upavisham, if she is sitting, Unmishan, if she closes her eyes, Nimishan, or if she opens her eyes, continuously and forever, who is thinking, Chintayantaha, thinking of Shiva, Punah Punaha. And what else? She keeps Shrinvantaha, she keeps hearing. She has no ego in listening to others and the legends of Shiva, Shrinvantaha. And she also teaches others, Shravayantaha cha, Kathayantaha. He or she explains about all of this, and she loves to keep talking of the legends, of the mysteries, of the philosophy, the tattva of Shiva, and so on. She keeps praising, Stuvantaha, Stuyamanaha cha. And what happens to them? Finally, Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. They get no other, they actually want no other material benefit but complete self happiness. Tushyanti and Ramanti. And they show that happiness physically out, externally too, in their states of ecstasy. जन्मकोटिसहस्रेषु नानासंसारयोनिषु जन्तोर्विगतपापस्य भवे भक्तिः प्रजायते. So then the question comes, how will this bhakti come? Okay, we have spoken of how these great yoginis and yogis have always, for example, Laleshwari, she was always, just as these three shlokas have been described, she was always ever lost in the Shiva Dhyana, whether she would eat, sleep, excrete, walk, bathe, not bathe, she was ever lost in Shiva herself totally. So that is that supreme level of bhakti. Then the question comes, how do we get even 1% of that? So it says, Janma Koti Sahasreshu, only through continuous efforts across lifetimes, Koti, even of 1,000 or crores of Janmas, Nana Samsara Yonishan, not just of humans, but the soul must necessarily have gone through different varieties of births. So maybe as a plant, animal, germ, amoeba, bacteria, fungus, virus, who knows what else, and maybe even as the Panchabhutas before coming as Shiva Bhakta. Jantoho Vigata Papasya. And so this Jantu, this creature, this little creature must necessarily go through all of these life experiences, and these experiences are therefore crafted for what? Vigata Papa, to show us away of all sins, to shake up all the sins from us. Sins not just merely physical, but also any evil which is present within us should all exit from our body, from our system. So that was the entire point of all the life experiences, is how he puts it. And then finally, what happens when all evil, when all bad and ugly tendencies have left the system? The system is now clear, pavitra and shuddha, and ready to become the receptacle for bhave bhakti, to have the bhakti of bhava, of Shiva. And now they are not promising it. They are saying bhakti praja. It's so clever. He says bhakti will come by itself. They are not promising even at this stage that he will become a bhakta. There is no becoming here. There is only coming up of the springing up of bhakti by itself. Bhakti prajayate. And then utpannacha bhave bhakti. So then until that bhakti comes, what do we do? We have to just keep going through nana samsara yonishu and all these janma koti sahasreshu, going through the hard lessons, learning the hard lessons of life. And in fact, Prakriti herself is the greatest teacher ever, which Dattatreya himself proclaimed, that he had 24 gurus, in fact more, but he was able to learn from Prakriti around him and life experiences too. Utpannacha bhave, and once that bhakti comes, ananya sarva bhavataha, it must be taken to such an extent that it becomes sarva bhava, by all emotions. It becomes ananya, it becomes so loyal, so a lot of fidelity goes into it. And not just that, if I worship Shiva, I will not worship Vishnu, not that level of, not that kind of fidelity. It means if I worship Shiva, I seek pleasure only from Shiva. So I will not even seek pleasure from ice creams. I will not seek pleasure from sex. I will not seek pleasure from relationships. I will not seek pleasure from family unit, participating in family, in samsara, etc. So to that level of bhakti, where all pleasures and all time I invest and I enjoy everything is only somehow linked to Shiva. That is the meaning of Ananya Bhakti, and not just fanaticism. Yeah, only Allah I will worship, only Jesus I will worship, not that kind of fanatic fundamentalist bhakti. It is sarva bhavataha, through all emotions. Bhavinaha, because even if I do say I will worship only Allah, what is this meaning of worship? You see, yeah, maybe 5 times a day I go and do a prayer. Is that all? That is not Ananya still, because I have kept the other 23 hours of the day for myself. So bhakti necessarily, like I said, means to sacrifice oneself and to prioritize the other. So why should I even have 23 hours of the day for myself? I will give all of that also to Shiva. So if a person has risen to that level, he is said to be Ananya Bhakta. Bhavinaha karane chasya sarva yuktasya sarvatha. And that is the way actually that this person becomes a sarva yukta. He becomes attached to everything around him. So we are actually attached to things in installments. You see, I am attached to my job. I'm so fearful of the job. I'm attached to a certain degree to my family and friends and so on. So I am attached to only limited things around me. I'm not attached to everybody. So a person who has risen to that level, he becomes attached to anything and everything around him. So you can say in one way, he is not attached to anything, but also attached to everything. Sarva yuktasya. Etad deveshu dushprapam. This state is so exalted that we have been talking about it so casually, but deveshu dushprapam. This is not even achievable by the devas. Not even Indra, Agni, who are the controllers of lightning and wind and all of that, they are not able to achieve such a state. Manusheshu tu na labhyate eva. So not even there is no way of achieving this by being in the realm of the humans. So it means one who thinks as humans cannot really uh, achieve such a state. Nirvighna nischala rudre bhaktir avyabhicharini. Again, avyabhicharini means, so vyabhichari means kind of a whore, a prostitute, or a pimp. So one who is ready to derive pleasure or just exchange one's own self-respect for others for money or whatever. I'm not saying it's not bad or good. I'm just saying vyabhichara means that. It also means this mata mantra that we say, this prayogas, these black magic that we do also are called vyabhicharas, because they are sacrificing a part of their integrity of the system for something in return. So that is called vyabhichara. Avyabhicharini bhakti means that which is exactly the opposite of it, which means a bhakti where, yes, I am sacrificing something from of myself, maybe my integrity or whatever, but not for anything in return for myself. That is said to be an avyabhicharini bhakti. I am ready to unconditionally sacrifice myself. That is avyabhicharini bhakti. In whom? In Rudra. And what kind of a bhakti is that? It is a nirvighna nischala. And at that state, bhakti becomes so free flowing, it is nischala. It doesn't stop, it doesn't flicker, it doesn't shake, and it is without obstacles. It becomes like a dhara, a stream of oil or a stream of honey. Nirvighna, without any obstacles. Tasyaiva cha prasadena bhakti utpadyate nrinam. And finally he drops a bomb. He says tasya eva prasadena. Such a kind of bhakti can come only tasya prasadena, only if Shiva wills it, and if he graces it. Utpadyate nrinam, and that is even possible to come in a human being only if he graces it. Yena yanti param siddhim tadbhava gata chetasaha. But with such bhakti, you will reach the final fulfillment of all living and non-living creatures by being in such a tadbhavagata chetasa, by being completely immersed in such bhakti. Is what Upamanyu is telling us. Ye sarva bhavanugataha prapadyante maheshwaram prapanna vatsalo devah samsarat tan samudharet. So so these people who have reached that state, that exalted state, who have taken Maheshwara alone as their prapanna, as their purpose and purport of their lives, Deva becomes a Vatsala to them. So, I mean, he considers them as his children. Vatsala means a children, as child. So he considers these such people, such entities rather, to be his own children. And what does he do? Samsara tan samudharet. So then he completely destroys all shackles and all bandhas that they have and takes them to himself. Evam अन्ये विकुर्वन्ति देवा संसार मोचनम मनुष्याणां मृते देवं नान्या शक्तिस्तपोबलम. अन्ये देवाः samsara mochanam vikurvanti. So the other devas may or may not be possible to do the samsara mochana, to take us away and liberate us completely of samsara. Manushyana, but without this God, without Shiva, Manushyana Mrite, without him, Nanya Shaktihi. But definitely, yeah, there is a chance that he may or may not grace us with that supreme para bhakti. But if you don't go to Deva, he's saying, then there is no chance at all that you will have Shakti nor Tapobala. So he says to us, Manushyanam Rite Devam Nanya Shakti Tapobalam. Don't just forget, give up the idea that I will ever have Shakti or Tapobala without Shiva itself. Again, because Shiva, of course, always comes with Shakti, always comes with energy. He enthuses us up. And all Shakti in our lives at our direst moments, in our darkest phases of our life, it comes only through God. So Shakti and Tapobala. When we are in our good phases of our life, the strength to control ourselves from pleasures around us and not get attached again comes only through God. Iti tenendra kalpena bhagavan sadasatpatihi krittivasaha stutaha Krishna tandina shubha buddhina. So Upaman is saying Krishna, this was actually first praised in the Indra Kalpa, one of the Kalpas, Indra Kalpa. This great Shiva, who is the Lord of the manifest and the unmanifest, and who is Krittivasa, who wears the elephant skin, the hide. He was first praised by Tandi, the Rishi Tandi, with a very noble intent. Stavametam bhagavato brahma swayam giyate chasa buddhyeta brahma shankara sannidhau. And this stavam, brahma swayam adharayat. So this was in fact endorsed and himself first elaborated by Brahma, the creator. And one Brahma himself first recited and chanted this in the Shankara Sannidhi before Rudra himself. And similarly, those who worship and sing these praises before Shankara's Devasthana, before his temple, will reach the state of being Brahma. Idam punyam pavitram cha sarvada papa nashanam. This is the supreme most holy thing and the most punya giving sadhana. Sarvada papa nashanam. It will cleanse us of all our sins, papa. Yogadam mokshadam, which gives us both yoga, union with a greater object, and moksha, and free us from that which is lower. Chaiva Swargadam, which can also take us to Swarga. Toshadam, and it can just give us any material happiness and contentment. Evametat patante ya ekabhaktya tu Shankaram. But those who chant this patante ekabhaktya with a single-minded, single-focused devotion of Shankara. Yagatihi Sankhya Yoganam Rajantyetam Gatim Tada. And that state, that destination which is reached by the greatest yogis of Sankhya philosophy and the Yoga Paddhati, will be open. That doorway will be open for us too. Stavametam prayatnena sada rudrasya sannidhau abdamekam chayat bhakta prapnuyad ipsitam phalam. And those who chant this stotram for about a year, abdam, with bhakti, with prayatna. Of course, it is not easy to do it every day, but that is why he says prayatnena. Rudrasya sannidhau. In a temple, if a person would chant this as a vrata for one complete year, then ipsitam phalam prapniya. Whatever he or she wishes that he wants, will get it. Ipsitam phalam prapnuyat. Etad rahasyam paramam brahmano hridi samsthitam Now this Rahasyam, again, as we have seen, it is not really a very popular shloka, not a very popular stotram. Paramam Brahmanaha Hridi Samsthitam. This was first originated from the heart, Hridi of Brahma, the creator, and then the subsequent shlokas are describing the parampara, from whom did this stotra come from. Then first from Brahma to Shakra, which means Indra, and then to Mrityu. Mrityu means death, and from death came to Rudras, the 11 Rudras, and the Rudras told it to Tandi, the Maharshi, who did a lot of tapasya in the palace of Brahma itself. Brahma Sadmani Tapasa. So he was so great that he actually went to Satyaloka. If you remember, the Brahmaloka, the supreme-most abode of Brahma, where no other entities can live. But Tandi was able to reach that level through his tapasya and get it from the Rudras. Then Tandi gave it to Shukra, the Shukracharya, and who is told to belong to the Bhargava clan. And so he's also called Bhargava. We say Bhargava Vara for Shukravasara, right? Then from there it went to Vaivasvata, the Manu, who is called Vaivasvata. Incidentally, that is also the Manvantara we are in, Vaivasvata Manvantare, we say. And from that Manu, Vaivasvata Manu gave it to Gautama Maharshi, and from Gautama it came to the Narayana Maharshi. So there were these pair of rishis called the Nara and Narayana, who were themselves great tapaswins, but they would come in each yuga in particular avataras as twins. So, for example, Nara and Narayana, they have said to have taken birth as Rama and Krishna, and Ramakrishna and Vivekananda, and Arjuna and Krishna, and Balarama and Krishna. So all of these pairs where one is a philosopher and one is an active doer, one who is a thinker and one who is a doer. So this pair always takes avatars very often. So that is, he was called the Narayana Sadhya Rishi. So Gautama gave it to Narayana Sadhya, and then it came to Yamaya Praha, and from Yama it went to Nachiketa, the young boy who had the courage to go to Yamaloka itself to learn about the supreme truth, Vedanta. And from Nachiketa it went to Markandeya. From Markandeya it came to Upamanyu Maharshi. And from Upamanyu Maharshi it has been given to Krishna. And from Krishna, also called Vasudeva, this is being recited to Yudhishthira. Tavapyahama mitra ghnas tavam dadyam hya Vishnu. This is a very secret, well-protected, confidential stotram, which I have received it. And so I am giving it to you. And what is the purpose? Swargyam, it can take you to Swarga. Arogyam you will get. Ayushyam also will come. Dhanyam, wealth. Vedena sammitam. This has been endorsed by Vedas. It is within the boundaries of the Vedas. Nasya vigraham vikuravanti danava yaksha rakshasaha. And a person who chants this with a lot of devotion and faith, no yakshas or rakshasas or danavas ever can vigraham vikuravanti, can they ever come in their path, nor will pishachas, yatudhanas, nor will magical beings, nor will ghosts or disembodied beings, nor will demons, nor will serpents and any insects ever bother this person. But who? Yaf patheta shuchihi. But who chants this with a lot of hygiene, shuchihi, brahmachari and mental hygiene, and jitendriya, one who is in complete control of his or her senses. Such a person will not be disturbed by any of the aforesaid entities. And finally, one who does this for a year, abhagna yogaha varsham tu, one who does this for a complete year without bhagna, without any hiatus in between, without any breaks, abhagna yogaha, one who is in such a yoga of being shuchi, brahmachari, and jitendriya. 3 conditions: shuchi, outer cleanliness; inner cleanliness of brahmacharya and the sense control. Not to indulge in either extremities, not to be too thin and slender and skinny and do fasting, not to indulge completely in gluttony and become too obese. So that is the meaning of being jitendriya, to be in the middle path. And who does this for a complete year? Saha, he or she, Ashwamedha phalam labhet, will get the phala, the equivalent result of having done the greatest yagas of the Vedic sacrifices, which is the Ashwamedha yaga. And by the way, Ashwamedha, a person who would do Ashwamedhas would get 100th the power of Indra. So a person who did Shata Ashwamedhas, one who did 100 Ashwamedhas, would become Indra himself. So that is a yaga which is that powerful. And even the kings, only the emperors who had the greatest of fortunes, greatest of treasuries, had the courage as well as means to actually do such a great sacrifice, which would go on for 5 years, 6 years. That greater, that bigger, sophisticated yaga it was. And with such 100th power of Indra, so just imagine Indra, who is the lord of the gods and who controls all weather phenomenon of Earth, to have even 100th that power is maybe I think some 2 or 3 nuclear bombs power a person would be getting. So that's really, really powerful. And just by doing this for about a year, it is said to bring results equivalent of that strength. Ashwamedha phalam labhet. And thus, this great scripture, which was present in the Mahabharata, which is present in the Mahabharata, in the Anushasana volume, in the Dana Dharma sub-volume, in the Ashtachatvarimshaha, 48th Sarga, is 48th Adhyaya, thus ends. Om Namah Shivaya. Any questions, discussions is most welcome.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
So, no words to we
True.
got to hear it through you. It's such a blessing. Shiva must have blessed us with this. Without what we would have done to get this. But just to listen to it, it's so wonderful.
Thank you.
How much we can practice, we don't know. But we just keep chanting Shiva, that's all.
Correct. It's very beautiful. Thank you. I'm honored. And with this again, Shiva's, I believe, like they say, it is only through Shiva's grace that we are all here today. And
I was really very eager. I just like to listen to that. I'm not good at chanting, but I just like to listen and the praises also. Just listen to those praises that it's so grand. But that's enough for me. I don't know how much I will chant, but I would like to listen. Your recordings will be there.
correct. But please, I mean, you have such a beautiful voice, and also you have a very immaculate pronunciation, so you should definitely chant, ma'am.
Yeah, Bhavani and all that our Sharda Math group, I think we'll make it a point to chant it.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Dhanyavad. Yes, Bhavani ma'am, do you want to add anything?
Question, sir, but I have forgotten where that is located. I mean, we went through all this, so now I am having to. I think it will take time for me to locate that place where some doubt came in my mind.
Okay.
So maybe one totra where I can request you for that one later on because I'm not able to locate.
Okay, no worries. Please ask it later on in the group also.
So apart from that, it was very.
Right.
So here actually he seems to have spoken a lot on bhakti. The importance of the bhakti he has kind of emphasized in these Phalashruti. That's how it seemed to me.
Correct.
The bhakti yoga was more than the other yogas. It seemed like the ultimate this thing way of getting him is this Ananya Bhakti.
Correct,
That
correct.
was one theme that came up. Yeah. So that's what I noticed. Yeah.
Very true. And yeah, I think one other person had asked what material benefits would we get by chanting, I think. But so I think we had delved into this question a little because this stotram was never actually meant for easily procuring material benefits, though it does say Swargadam, Mokshadam, etc. So, unlike other stotrams where they are clearly delineate all the material benefits, for example, Dhanarthi Labhate Dhanam, Kanyarthi Labhate Kanyam, etc., we have seen many such stories, I mean, stotrams, where explicit mention of what exactly a person will get is there. This is quite unique in that way. Maybe that is one of the reasons why it is not as popular. But yes, you're exactly right. In the opening line itself says, Yatha Pradhanam Bhagavan Bhaktya Stuto Maya. Iti Bhaktya Stuto Maya. That's correct. Anything else?
Nothing. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
thank you.
Guruji. Wonderful.
Thank you. Anyone?
Clear, the explanation that no questions. Thank you so much. And definitely this Shiva's grace, that came together on my platform. Very, very different cause. I think the word thanks would be very small to express the gratitude, but definitely it comes from the heart. And more so, I am very, very proud of you. How nicely you teach. That's what makes me feel really, really. I have no words so I can say.
Thank you, ma'am. So blessed.
Always grateful to you, and we just pray that we have the strength to carry on with this sadhana that you have, started. That we keep chanting Shiva Sahasranama. Everyone's life revolves around Shiva. Thank you.
Thank you. It's beautiful. Thanks.
Yes, thank you to everybody.
Absolutely. The satsanga is what really made this really memorable and enjoyable. Thanks to all the participants here. You have contributed in ways more than I actually can express, because you people are the motivation for me to come here every day. I mean, it has been mostly regular, but really, really nice that the four of you have stuck from the beginning till the end. And that's
We're not wishing to bring more people, but somehow maybe it's Shiva's grace only can do that.
correct.
And I would like to meet you sometime.
Surely we should all meet up, and we would all.
Are you anywhere near the institute, Indian Institute of Science?
Yes, we can all meet up there.
Yes, like Bhavani also stays there. So
Okay.
so, yeah. They would like to give you some Guru Dakshina personally.
Oh, okay.
Not very good at offline.
Right. Okay.
That would be very nice, actually. So thank you for Pushpa for bringing that up. It would be wonderful if we could meet. It would be so nice if at a convenient time we can meet. So
Right.
it would be great.
Surely.
Yeah,